Welcome to the October episode of Celebrate Meridian, our monthly look at all things Meridian. Tonight I will be joined by Chief Jeff Levy and Sergeant John Gonzalez of the Meridian Police Department to discuss timely and important safety resources for our community, our children. In August, the City of Meridian was once again recognized by CNN Money Magazine to its 2012 list of the 100 best places to live in the U.S. among small cities. This is the third time Meridian has received this prestigious recognition since 2005, and we were the only city in Idaho to make the 2012 list. Then, in September, just when things can't possibly get better, they do, as Meridian was once again selected as one of the nation's 100 best communities for young people by America's Promise Alliance and the global finance company of ING. This is the fifth time Meridian has earned a place on this prestigious list. Again, we're the only city in Idaho that was selected for this great honor. These awards recognize the hard work of many community members and partner organizations who dedicate their time, their expertise, and their resources to make a meaningful difference in the lives of young people and a great place here in Meridian to live. Our city employees, school districts, service clubs, businesses, churches, and social service providers, the list is endless, all deserve great credit and respect for our community's successes. Switching gears, it is hard to believe that fall is already setting in and custom stores are booming with businesses as we prepare for Halloween. While this is a popular event for youth in our community, keeping them safe during this time of year is on the minds of parents and our public safety personnel. That is why it is fitting that October is Fire Prevention and Crime Prevention Month, where we urge everyone in the community to heed the importance of and listen to messages in support of public safety. On October 20th, the Meridian Fire and Police Departments will hold an event for the community between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at Fire Station Number 1, located on Franklin Road. This event will include face painting, a 911 simulator, car seat safety tips, and helmet safety. And always a crowd favorite, children can check out the Fire Safety House to learn survival skills in the event of an actual fire. Police officers and firefighters will be on hand for demonstrations and offer hot dogs to their guests. Sparky and McGruff will be there too, so be sure to stop by and visit your partners in prevention. While police and fire are on the front lines, so is our faith community, providing resources to our community for those in need or seeking a better life. October is also Pastors Appreciation Month, a great time to thank those who are working every day to make Meridian a better place to live. I encourage you to show your church leader just how much you appreciate them, as our faith leaders wear many hats as business people, civic leaders, volunteers, and overall pillars in this community. I've had the pleasure of hosting many of our faith leaders at an annual luncheon provided by our community as a way to say thank you for all those leaders do for our community. This is always a great event, and I want to say thanks to Valley Shepherd Church for hosting this annual luncheon, Food Services of America for providing the food, and all the volunteers who make it such a great success. Next month, we will once again be headed to the polls to select our leaders at the national and state level. I wanted to take a moment and remind you to get educated about voting. Not just about the people running for office, but about any changes in polling locations or otherwise before you go to the polls on November 6th. There was a concern during the primaries regarding party identification, but that is not needed for the general election. So to learn more, visit www.idahovotes.gov to make sure you know where to go and to make your vote count. This month, I'm happy to profile an organization of students who are all serving community from a variety of different angles. Join me as we celebrate the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council, our Meridian Future Leaders of the Month.
Hey, I'm Kendall Swainson from Rocky Mountain High School, and I'm here to invite you to join an amazing city organization.
The Mayor's Youth Advisory Council is a great way for students to get involved with everything that happens in our city and state.
From serving in the community
to lobbying legislative representatives
to planning parties and concerts, there's something for everyone in the Mayor's Youth Advisory Council.
So come be a part.
You have fun.
You serve the community.
You make a difference.
For more information, come to our first meeting at Meridian City Hall, Monday, September 10th at 6 o'clock p.m.
Welcome back. Tonight I'm joined by Chief Jeff Levy and Sergeant John Gonzalez with the Meridian Police Department. Chief Levy was actually one of our first guests on Celebrate Meridian back in 2010. Our show has changed a lot since then, and we are honored to utilize the fine students of Mountain View High School to help make this show a reality. It is a great partnership between the district and the city. Chief Levy, welcome back. It's great to have you and Sergeant Gonzalez on the show with us.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an honor to be here.
Perhaps maybe you can both start the show off by telling our viewers a little bit about yourselves and what you do for the department.
Sure, I'll go first. I have been with the City of Meridian for the last 15 years. I'm just now starting year 16, and I've been the chief since 2007. Seems like it's been 1990s. And prior to that, I actually came from Washington State, so I've been in law enforcement about 26 years. John?
I've been in law enforcement for 17 years. Currently, I work with the Meridian Police Department in the traffic unit, and just work with the officers that are in that unit, the 6 of us together.
Well, thank you for both being with us and being willing to share your experience, your perspective, and enlighten some of our viewers on what's being faced in our community. We are sitting in the studio that's located at Mountain View High School, and certainly this school community has been hit hard by a couple of tragic events that have happened over the last few months, over the last year, of students that have lost their lives. What message would you have for our youth today?
Oh, Mayor, after the tragic news that I received a couple of weeks ago, I started trying to figure out how I wanted to approach things, because I was a little frustrated through the news. Although I didn't know the students, I knew that how it would affect this community. And I was trying to figure out how we could get the message out to them, wear your seatbelts. And I guess the message that I would like to give them is that it's cheap insurance to wear your seatbelt. But the other message from that horrific crash was there was one individual that had his seatbelt on, and he walked away from the scene with minor scratches. The other 3 were not wearing their seatbelts, and there was some tragic results. So I guess it's a twofold message. The proof is that if you wear your seatbelt, your chances are better, but it's also cheap insurance, so why not?
John, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, I agree with the chief. This is seatbelts are clearly a good way to help reduce injuries or even anything serious injuries that a person might have in a crash. So wearing a seatbelt is very important. Unfortunately, sometimes if we just make that one good decision, hopefully it doesn't lead to other bad decisions down the road. So seatbelts are really important for people to wear and to use.
So true. As parents, we can certainly understand the nightmare that these families are going through. What message do you have for the parents that that they can share with their kids to help keep our youth safe in this community?
As a parent, I would like to tell my children that we're not immune. I think back on my youth and some of the dumb things that we did in regards to being in vehicles and seatbelts and everything else, and nothing bad happened to us. However, bad things happen every single day, and you got to ask yourself, are you willing to take that risk? Because I love my family dearly, and if there's something that I could do to prevent that unknown, then this is one of those things.
So we kind of had experiences with these two crashes that have certainly had a heavy impact on the school community, with the underage drinking and driving, and the kids that lost their lives, certainly going off the road and not having their seatbelts on. But what are we seeing statewide? What are some of the other issues and accidents that we're seeing on a statewide basis?
Well, one of the things, Mary, I'd like to point out is that it's not just the youth, it's the adults too. And so we often like to focus in on the youth and saying they're doing this or they're doing that. And it's not just them. Perhaps they have a learning curve and they don't know any better yet, and it's up to us to educate them. But some of the people that are educating them is the adults that are setting the poor examples. But some of the other things that we're seeing across the state, and really what we're kind of passionate about and really have taken the lead on, is distracted driving. Now, the focus used to be on texting while driving, but we really call it distracted driving because I think we've really forgotten what we're supposed to do when we're in the car, and that is drive the car. And we're trying to do so many other things instead of the primary thing. So we're seeing a lot of incidences of improper things behind the wheel. Perhaps, John, you could enlighten them on some of those things that we're seeing out there.
Well, distracted driving clearly in Meridian is an issue that we've been willing to take on and have worked hard in our city, and we've seen some changes, but distracted driving could come in many forms, and like the chief talked about, we focus on the texting part, but it goes a little bit beyond that. And again, back to making good decisions for ourselves and for those around us. And so when we look at young people, as we started the question about how their families might feel or how things might be whenever there's a tragedy, it really puts a person to think about not only oneself, but the people that are left behind, the people that have to deal with the events that have happened.
Well, and certainly distracted driving is something that Sergeant Gonzalez, you've been very involved in on the local and the national level. Can you tell us a little bit about the program that you have been integral about bringing to our community, Alive at 25?
Well, Alive at 25 is a defensive driving course for young drivers. The age group that we target are ages 15 to 24. And unfortunately, statistics aren't in the favor of this age group when it comes to driving. And we think that by providing a resource for them, which is the Alive at 25, it's an opportunity for them to get some information and to be able to address driving issues for themselves. One of the nice things about the program, too, is that it is free. The participants don't have to pay for the program, and it's really easy to be a part of it.
So how do they find information on being a part?
Alive at 25 has a website that they can register at. The easiest way is to go on the internet. aliveat25.us is the address to the website, and they can just find the location that they want to attend on which day, and they can sign up online. And again, it's free, and we've made it, or the program we're involved in is as easy as we think it can be to allow people to sign up.
That's great, and it's not just the police department that's leading the charge on these kind of activities. Recently, State Farm Insurance, we had 2 local insurance agents that led an event at Rocky Mountain High School What other organizations are stepping up and helping the police department achieve their goals?
In that event, we had State Farm. Another place that I think is very important is the schools. They are a big piece to sharing this message. We had Idaho State Police also involved, but there were other organizations that were there, businesses, even something as simple as a pizza company or a restaurant providing food and water for participants. All these things come together to help share the message of safety for young people.
Well, now, Chief, certainly an issue with distracted driving is the texting and driving. The state recently passed a statewide law that's been in effect for a couple of months, and I might add that we led the change for that by doing a local ordinance. Can you tell us maybe some of the results or changes that we've seen since we've had our local ordinance and since the statewide or law has been in place?
Sure, I can do that. The main focus primarily was education. We were trying to get the word out to educate the public about what the hazards are to doing this. And unfortunately, education alone is not working. We've tried education for DUI and have done that for 25 years, and we still have about 12,000 DUI arrests in the state of Idaho each year. So when everybody was saying, well, why don't you just educate more? He says, we need a little bit more than just education. I would like to think that common sense is all it takes, but I think people think they're invincible when they're behind the wheels or they can multitask. So Meridian decided to do their own ordinance to say it is not the right thing to do. Do not text while driving. And we wrote approximately 100 citations during that time frame. Just recently, July 1 is when the new state law went into effect, and now we're starting to write tickets under the state law rather than the city ordinance. We continue to write citations for people that display poor decision making on the use of their phones, but the message we want to get out there is don't do it, and then it doesn't make any difference whether it's against the law or not.
Well, I've had people mention to me that how can a police officer know that they're texting or reading a text rather than making a phone call or something like that. And I did have to kind of laugh. I said, you know, they follow you and you probably don't even see them for several blocks. And I can tell you, you're going to find a phone number in less than a small percentage of that time.
Well, Mayor, as you know that you've had firsthand results, you've been in a car with us before, and we've actually followed people for a long distance while they're texting while driving, and they're blissfully unaware of what's going on around them, to the point where we hit the siren and they're still looking around trying to figure out where that's coming from. So people that are so ingrained in texting while driving are not aware of their surroundings. And really the statistics equate it to closing your eyes for approximately 5 seconds. That's about the amount of time that your eyes are off the roadway. So I don't advise you to do this, but if you actually close your eyes while walking and see how far you travel with your eyes closed, it is amazing. But the other thing is you probably shouldn't be making a phone call while you're on the phone or while you're driving either. Is we see a lot more people that are distracted by their telephones just as much as they are with texting. And some people say, well, why don't you make that a law? And I'm pretty passionate about it. I like to take the cell phone out of the hands of every driver. But I don't think the state was quite ready for that yet.
Well, some of these issues of distracted driving is affecting us in our cars. It's also affecting the other modes of transportation, such as pedestrians and bicyclists. Sergeant Gonzalez, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you're working with the community to keep those people safe as well.
Well, you know, as people are distracted, whether it be driving or walking or what it might be, whatever they might be doing, again, as the chief was talking about, just using good common sense and making sure that the task of what you're doing is being handled first. Driving is very important. You don't want to be texting and there be somebody crossing a street or some on the side of the road riding a bike, whatever it might be, and someone texting and driving could be distracted enough to hit them. And again, someone walking, that they don't walk them in the middle of the road if they're texting. That's another issue that they might be aware of as well.
Yeah, I just had heard nationally that that's becoming a major safety issue is the distracted walking, which I had to chuckle a bit. But it's being aware of the events that are going on around us and just making sure that you are aware and you keep yourself safe. One of those things that come up often is, what are some of the rules of the road when you're approaching a bicyclist? Do they follow the same rules that we do as motorists?
You want to answer that?
Either way.
Well, we always say that bicycles have to follow the same rules of the car. There are a few exceptions, and those exceptions have to do with stop signs and traffic lights. At a stop sign, a bicycle does not need to stop. All they have to do is yield, look left, look right, and actually roll through the stop sign. At a traffic light, you actually have to stop and yield to traffic, but then you can pedal across. The whole idea behind it is it takes so much longer for a bicycle to start once they stop that they want to allow them to have the momentum to get across the roadway before a car has to travel across the roadway. Those are the only two exceptions that I'm aware of under the motor vehicle codes. But a lot of times we get some excited motorists yelling at bicycles, "You didn't stop," or "You didn't do this." They don't have to. So those are the exceptions to the following the rules of the roadway.
I think the bottom line is, whether you're driving a car, riding a bike, or walking on a sidewalk, you need to pay attention to what's going on in and around you, and keep your eyes in front, and just to pay attention so you're safe.
In policing, we call that situational awareness, just being aware of your surroundings. And this is good, whether it's driving, walking, whatever you might be doing. It's just, it's another component of safety, and it's because you're aware of the dangers that could happen.
And certainly our youth are some of our most precious assets that we have in our community, and we want to keep them safe. We want to protect them, and I certainly appreciate everything that you do in your department, both of you, to keeping our roads safe, our kids safe, and it's important to and timely to let people know what these rules of the road are and what they need to pay attention to, so we continue to be a safe community. Any last thoughts you'd like to add?
You know, I guess the message that we need to get across to everyone that actually drives out there is that driving is a privilege, not a right, and that we all have an inherent responsibility to do the right thing. And that's to pay attention and focus driving first and the other things second.
Yeah.
And I would just say, we've all been in Meridian traffic, and we know what it's like, and as we grow, we recognize the congestion and the problems that we encounter on the roadway. And it just takes all of us to really take part of the safety, not only for ourselves, but those that are around us. And that's really the message that the traffic team and myself and the rest of the police department focus on.
Well, thank you, and I'd like to thank you, Chief and Sergeant Gonzalez, for joining me today. I wish you and your department great success in the year ahead. Up next, our Economic Development Administrator, Brenda Sherwood, will give us an update on business in Meridian.
In this segment of Celebrate Meridian, we'd like to talk to you about some of the business news going on in the city. I'd like to remind each and every one of you that for the next 8 months to 12 months, we will be having construction on Meridian Road and Main Street. And this is the split corridor construction. The idea behind this is that we will be funneling that traffic from Main Street over to Meridian Road so that we can keep the vitality of our downtown neighborhood as a place to be safe for your family and for the community. So once again, we appreciate you supporting the businesses in Meridian, and we'll see you next month with more information on businesses during Celebrate Meridian.
And now I get to answer a question from the community as part of our Ask the Mayor.
Mayor, can you give us an update on the Meridian Bark Park situation?
We recently received a petition regarding the Meridian Bark Park, asking that it remain open until a new dog park is built. Contrary to rumors that have been spread around about an imminent closure, the current dog park will not close this year, nor it will close next year. However, it will eventually need to be closed in preparation for that day. Our Parks Department is working on plans for a new dog park to replace it, located on the property that the city owns currently near Cherry Lane and McDermott Roads. In addition, we are looking at all other options to work with our dog park task force, looking at solutions for our future. As a city, I think we can contribute to being a best place and the growth of our city to the safety systems we have in place. People feel safe here because of the quality police officers, firefighters, county EMS, and the services they provide to our residents. Meridian continues to be a great choice. I value the relationship the city has with our citizens, and they certainly are our true heroes. You were able to hear tonight of the challenges and successes of keeping citizens safe while they get behind the wheel. If you want to learn more about these programs or the police department, I encourage you to get involved with the department as a volunteer or as a participant in the many events held year-round. Our city has a great safety resource. It has great safety resources, and having engaged citizens and caring personnel ensures their continued success. I'd like to thank Chief Jeff Levy and Sergeant John Gonzalez for joining me tonight. In addition, I'd like to thank Mike Gardner and the talented students of Mountain View High School who worked tirelessly to make this show a success. A program note, Celebrate Meridian can be seen every Thursday at 8 p.m. on TVC TV Channel 11. TVC TV rebroadcasts Celebrate Meridian all month long. We thank them for their assistance in getting this out to you, our viewers. Celebrate Meridian can also be seen anytime on the city website. So thanks for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you here next year, where together we will find new and exciting ways to celebrate Meridian.